Just keep your eyes closed. You must see the effortlessness of your being with yourself. As more and more you expose yourself to this knowledge, that clarity must come with yourself, where you see the effortlessness of the wisdom, the awareness that you are. It's just like as you sit down here, closing the eyes, all the sounds from outside world, totally effortless. Because of your effort, the bird is not singing. The squirrel is not producing the sound, nor am I talking here. It's not your effort. As even the sounds of various kinds that you hear are not your effort, so also the silence. When the sounds are effort of somebody or other, it's not your effort, but the bird is singing, the bird's effort, the squirrel's effort, my speaking, my decision. None of these things depend on your effort. So also silence, totally effortless, because it's not only the silence is not the product of your effort, but also it is not the product of anybody's effort. Silence, really effortless. Other sounds are not your effort, but somebody's effort. Now, if you see this principle, be conscious within. Your thoughts are not your effort, nor it is somebody's effort. Effortlessly, the thoughts appear. But for the thought to appear, some effort must have already gone to see, hear, taste, touch, smell, experience. Whereas awareness, nobody's effort, nor do you need a sense experience to remember it. It's not a sensation of some kind. Absolute effortlessness. Which no thought can take away. No sensation can drown. No perception can dismiss. Absolutely effortless. Just see that for yourself. When that becomes absolutely effortless, being yourself is absolutely effortless. That time you catch everything at the level of your thought. The testing in the fire of knowledge. Every thought is beautiful. Every thought, every speech, action, tested in the fire of knowledge. Agni Pariksha. No more happiness expected from the result of action. In the beginning of your thought, action and speech, you are already happy with yourself, contented. And therefore, no searching, no waiting, no disappointment, no exhaustion. If at any time mentally you feel tired, exhausted, you are not seeing the freshness that you are. Body can be tired. Body has its limitations. Body needs rest. Mentally, from the standpoint of yourself, you are eternally restful. And in that restfulness, no thought is ever tiring. Unless there is the touch of the individuality, which goes on resisting the thoughts within. It's like you're sitting down here, listening to all effortless sounds which are not your effort. But in case you sit down as a listener, the I, commenting on every sound, dismissing, negating, interpreting, commenting, resisting, craving, then you are tired. Same way within. You shall never feel tired, exhausted, drained out, stressed out, unless the I craves or resists, adds speed where there is no speed, brings restlessness, in absolute restfulness. That is why the secret of your action, karmani akarmaya pasyet. One who sees absolute restfulness, who is the absolute restfulness in all movements. And when there is no action, physically restful, You are absolutely conscious. Akarmani cha karmaya. So laziness or inactivity is not unproductive inactivity, nor activity brings any restlessness. You are yourself. In all movements, in activity as well as inactivity. Just see the effortlessness. Yam brahma varunandarudramarudu nandivestave vedeshangapadakramaupanishadai indiyam samava dhyanavastidangate namanasa shantiyam yogina yasyantam vidusra suragana tasmai namaha. See that point, please. It's nice to go through these verses, books, and how much of it you are living every moment. That is very important. See that point of effortlessness. Other people talking, birds singing, sounds of nature is not our effort. The sun rising, setting, the whole creation spinning, days passing away, nights reeling away. It's not our effort, nor the growth of the body. You are not putting an effort to breathe, see, taste. It just happens. The sound of the peacock there. Same thing within. Thoughts are effortless. As even awareness, like silence outside. Nobody's effort. At least my speaking is my effort. The peacock producing a sound is peacock's effort. Silence, nobody's effort. Consciousness, nobody's effort. Yet thought, as you sit down, what thought comes is not your effort. But for a thought to be created, maybe you have taken an effort to produce a thought. listened to something, heard something, went to a place to create a memory. But the thoughts as they come, also effortless. What needs as though effort in the beginning is a conscious decision. When the thoughts are coming because of ignorance of yourself, not knowing you are, you just fall into the stream of thought. That is how average person functions. You speak unconsciously, do things unconsciously. That is why you repent. Either you repent if you are weak and sensitive. If you are arrogant, you justify. If you are weak, you feel bad. Sensitive, you feel bad. Somebody is stubborn, arrogant. What is wrong if I do this? What can you say? Watch out in life. Neither to be weak and crumbling every moment, nor you have to be stubborn and arrogant. Between the two, you can handle a weak person, sensitive person. Arrogant people you cannot touch, nor it is necessary. So in case you come across such people in life, it's a misfortune. One who tries to justify everything that he does. Anger, hatred, jealousy, deception. It becomes very difficult. That's why you have to be conscious. But other person can be unconscious. That's his choice. Which is not his choice. Because in ignorance there is not much choice. He has still not learned to exercise his choice. That is why compulsive. When you are conscious, you have a choice. So you do not justify. So live your life. That is, when you live that way, the whole teaching becomes very clear. But if you keep one side of your life full of strong individuality, and now it is picking up information, so it will make the convenience as law. Whichever observations fits into his lifestyle, it will take it. What doesn't fit in, it will negate it. Thereby you only deceive yourself. Nobody else is deceived. That's why at the end of the day, every moment you be conscious, even taking a stock, end of 1 hour, 5 hours, you decide. Ask yourself, did I do something unconscious? Did I speak something unconscious? Observe. It's so beautiful, then always in meditation. But such a person, read. This is what happens. Gata sangasya muktasya jnanavasthita chetasah yajñāya acharatah karma samagram praviliyate brahmarpanam brahmahabhi brahmagno brahmanahutam brahmaiva tena gantavyam brahma karma samadhina brahmarpanam brahmahavihi brahmagno brahmanahutam brahmaiva tena gantavyam brahma karma samadhinam. Right. The person who is jnana avasthita chetasah gata sangasya muktasya. Mukta purushasya, one who is free, knowing himself, is totally free. Free means no more identification with anything, but knows himself as he is, like the actor, who is totally aware of himself, playing through varieties of roles. And therefore no sangha, no attachment, no involvement, no question of losing sight of himself while playing the roles. Why is it so? Jnana avasthita chetasah. Because the mind always abides in the absolute knowledge that he is, revels in himself. You be there, other things automatically happens. Yajñāya acaratakama. The attitude of sacrifice is effortless. It becomes natural. It's just like the actor. When the actor knows himself, he shall act the role. If he loses himself, he forgets what's going on. So any time, if you are going through ups and downs, like the roller coaster ride, that time you are losing sight of yourself, unconscious. That is why when people get very angry, upset, jealous, what do you say? Okay, let him cool down, let him cool down, let him cool down, just leave him alone. That is how average person solves his problem. Just leave him alone, let him cool down, cool down, cool down. If you go on arguing with him, talking with him, discussing with him, the fire is much more. The fire is a conflagration. The more you try to point out, the more a person wants to justify. You don't know what to do. That is why when you are aware of yourself, you know it is very, very effortless to accept everybody. But the trouble is, the other person is not aware of himself. Then it becomes very difficult. But you can accept it. But always also think, are you also being like that? Because if you assume the role that you are a wise man, you assume that you are more conscious, and other people are unconscious. From that standpoint also you can behave absolutely rotten. Because you have already a superior attitude when you are really not that wise. The other person is ignorant, but you are no way conscious. You are not aware of yourself either. Maybe you are a little more aware than the other person, but you are not totally aware of yourself. So there again the conflict comes. Like, long back I was reading through a nice, some books, so many things you read, something comes up into that. There was a circus group. And in that town, when the circus came, what happens is, there was a little depression, meaning, bad time like today's economy. So many actors were not acting. Many they are unemployed because the theatre group that was not going on, nothing was happening. So one actor approached for a job in the circus group. Can I have any job? He said, yes, you can have a job. Our two gorillas are there in our circus group. There are two gorillas. One gorilla is dead. Can you put on the dress of a gorilla and stay in a cage? He said, oh, that is very difficult. That other one will be, suppose he sees that I am the real one, gorilla says, it's difficult. No, you don't worry about it. You stay, you will be you'll put on that dress of a gorilla and you will stay in that cage for a whole day. When people come, you don't have to do anything. They just know you are hanging around. You don't have to do anything about it. It is all right. No problem. All right. He is desperate. No paisa, no money. So he put on the gorilla's dress. So they put him into the cage. And then, after 1 hour, another gorilla, the real one, comes in. Now he doesn't know what to do. He holds that, the cage, that rod, iron rod of the cage, and really started bar. That bar, he holds on the bar of the cage and starts shouting, "Take me out of this place, take me out of this place." The gorilla who comes in, he says, "You think you are the only actor unemployed?" Think. That is an actor, this is an actor. How fantastic. But suppose he is an actor gorilla and the real gorilla comes in. You know what will happen? Wise man is acting a gorilla. The egoistic fellow, ignorant man, is a real gorilla. Because for him, every emotion counts, every thought counts, his own discipline, indiscipline, jealousy, hatred, so real. That is why it becomes so difficult. Because ignorance is a brute force. The real gorilla will pull down the actor gorilla. Egoistic people, the person who is individualistic, solid individualistic, they don't see the consequences. It's just like you just think of it. Suppose you have gone with somebody and you thought he is as free as you are. You want to, just an example, suppose you want to eat a food which you are not supposed to eat. Let us say you are not supposed to eat sweet, you are eating sweet. Or you are not supposed to eat fish, you are eating fish. Just again an example. Suppose you are doing something which you are not supposed to do, but for you it doesn't matter, say playing a game. The other person also is going along with it. Oh yeah, he's playing a game. Then after some time, suddenly the person feels, oh, I should not have done that. Oh, you know what happens? You understand? Suddenly the other person says, I shouldn't have done it. Why? Guilt comes from him, because he is not aware of himself. Now he shall say, you made him do it. You understand that point? Because you thought he is as much an actor as you are. But suddenly the person says, hey, you only made me do that. What? You say there is no problem. Understand? It can be seeing something, hearing something, tasting something, touching something, relating to something or somebody. Very happy-go-lucky. Suddenly the person comes with a guilt. Why? Because individuality is there. Then what happens? He pulls you now. Why? Because he can't take care of himself. And person can go to any extent, because when somebody says, you have done it, now what can you say? Physically you have involved yourself in that action. You have gone on all the way. You have gone to the food, you have gone eaten the food, you have done something. Then you can't say, I have not done it. Even if you are aware of it, who is going to understand the standpoint? Because in the world of ignorance, wisdom is not recognized. So people say, oh, you start giving a philosophy, I have not done, body has done. You understand the danger. It's really like in a gorilla's outfit, you are playing the role of a gorilla, but it's full of in the wilderness of ignorance, full of wildlife. That is why you have to be extremely careful. The person can say that. I remember those days once, I know, 1984, when I went to London, first ever time. He was the person who was a banker. He took me, he was our student, and it's a big story, it's all, anyway. So they said, Swamiji, my first salary you must come to London. Okay, I was sitting down in the small hut here, 1984, 25 years gone. He is also dead and gone. So he said, you must come first. I said, okay, we'll see. People say, but how many people do? But true, first day he got the salary, he sent my ticket, come to London. I went there, and he's a banker. So every people, all the business people know him. So now the banker's guru. So every banker, the clients are ready to please me. Everybody comes, somebody brings this, somebody brings that, somebody brings food, somebody brings this. One fellow brings the, drink, that in London they give in England, usually they come with a wine bottle. or something, the whole, not one, 6 will be there. Swami, no, Swami, let him drink, okay? But it comes, everything comes. Then that man was telling, let's go to London. Hey, what is that? Amsterdam. Just think I'm telling. He was telling that man, very nice man. He is totally ignorant, totally ordinary person. Very happy-go-lucky, like in the people say, we'll go. Then he say, you will go to so many places, we'll go to movies, you'll go to that, we'll go to girls also. Just think. He's silly. Why? Because you are so young. You should experience things. I'm not telling you a joke, huh? I'm not telling, just simple as an innocent statement, because he is very innocent. He loves me, adores me. He really feels that I have not eaten food or I have not done things in life, so I must be given a thorough training. Huh? Some thorough exposure. Just think of it. So sweet of him, so sweet of him. Like there was one movie owner here, theatre owner. He came to the class, so, oh, you are so young. You are not watching movies? I said, no, it's not necessary, it's okay. No, you must come and see the movie. That is Bruce Lee Enter the Dragon was going on. You must see the movie. I said, it's okay, not necessary to go. No, I am the owner of the theatre. I said, no, unnecessary people will look, why this cloth and that doesn't go. I am the owner. I'll take you there. And he insisted, he took me backside of the theatre, put me in the owner's box. But even if you come, you can't disappear. Somebody has seen it. Next day I came to a class, I told, yesterday I had gone to a movie. So everybody, of course, my students, they all see it. Oh, yesterday somebody told me that. Immediately after the class, one person comes and says, oh, Swami, nice you told me. Because my daughter had gone there and she came and told, he saw you in the theatre. And I said, no, it cannot be. Then now it was very good, very good. Because that person he says, please come. Now, having told it, later on he can say, why did you come to movie? See, I know Swami's secret. He went to movie. You told me to go. But after I go there, now you said I went there. You will never say I took him there. Same thing people. They will say, eat this, do this. Then okay, it's for free. So I go and suppose, by chance I do that. It makes no difference to me. But the other person later on what will say? He has a secret about me. This is where the real gorilla will kill the acting gorilla. Even a wise person can be destroyed because average person is not going to appreciate. Come on, let's do it. What is wrong? Watch a movie, eat this, do this. So you do. So suppose I would have gone with him to Amsterdam and we had a really nice time. What would have happened? Of course that is gone, finished. Neither he say nor I will say. But what? Later on he can say, oh, he did, mischief. Why? Because for them, the person who is acting is not acting all the time. Their individuality comes back. That is why guilt comes back. If any time you feel guilt-ridden, if any time you feel exhausted, tired, miserable for what you have done or not done, there is the hint of individuality. If you are a person, or else samas, so what is that? Sukha dukhe same krutva, lava lavo jaya jaya, sameness. It's not a philosophy, a philosophical speculation, that type of statement. A speculative statement is something yourself, you know it for sure. You have no guilt, no sense of remorse. Asochya no sochastam. You do not grieve for a thing that is not to be grieved. If you do it, you know it. If you don't want, don't want. Why? Because attitude. Yajnaya acharatah karma. Samagram praviliyate. Your action is an attitude of a sacrifice. Like a yajna. It's a beautiful ritual taking place. Why? Because in here, everything is Brahman. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagno, Brahmanahutam, Brahmaiva tena gantavyam, Brahma karma samadhina. The action is done by Brahma karma samadhi. That is the name of the person. Brahmaeva karma, tasmineva samadhiti, Brahma karma samadhi. It is the known of a person, it is the name of a person. One who always revels in himself. His name is this, Brahma karma samadhi, tena krutam. So, a person of understanding, who is totally aware of himself. Such a person, when he acts, everything is Brahman, Brahmarpanam. The offering is Brahman, Brahmarpanam. Any offering, Arpana, is Brahman. Why? Because he is Brahman. Look, when you are a thief, your action is thiefly, if you can use that word, thiefly action. If you are an angry person, angry action. If you are a jealous person, jealous speech, jealous action. If you are a happy person, happy action, happy speech. Action and speech, and they are like crystals, neither pure nor impure. Who does it? Who does it, that matters. You see, patting, good or bad? See, just patting. Somebody patting you, good or bad? If you hate the person, don't touch me. If you like the person, little more. Why? Are you getting that point, please? Suppose you, the patting, good or bad? Depends who pats. Speaking, good or bad? Depends who speaks. Angry person, full of motive, even his what do you say? Nonsense. You go. Loving person, really sincere, when he speaks. Same thing. Food, good or bad? Who eats? If you are already, because the dinner is good, so many different dishes of food, navaratna, kurma, palau is there, dal is there, so it's no problem. So you finished. Morning breakfast. Come for breakfast? No. Why no? What happened to you? Because stomach is bad, eater is sick. If the eater is healthy, what is there? Please, simple examples of life. You are in a good mood, every perception, ooh. Bad mood, will you like to come and see this lovely yellow flower, lovely yellow flower, Chinese lantern, go and see. Forget Chinese lantern, my fire is burning in my stomach. Chinese, you keep your lantern with you. True. So if you are a happy person, that is why Brahmarpanam, whatever is offering is Brahman. Brahma Havihi, the ghee that is offered, that also is Brahman. And where it is offered? Brahmagno. The fire on which it is offered, that also is Brahman. Who is offering? Brahmana Hutam. The one who is offering also is Brahman. Naturally, therefore, where the result will go? To Brahman, Brahmaiva tena gantavyam. A simple example you can take is, food time you do it. Into the fire of your hunger, the food of ghee is offered, and that is the offering. Made by whom? The individual who is eating, what is his nature? Brahman. Since every moment himself is remembered, in reality, while doing, no action is being done. Kuruvannapi na karoti. That is the ultimate connection. Kuruvannapi na karoti na lipyate. Because everything is Brahman. Just like Shankara gives a traditional example, like Shuktika Rajatavat. Like as you see a rope and snake, when you see the snake, but you have already seen the rope. So even if you see the snake, you know, in and to the snake is nothing but the rope. Head is rope, tail is rope, middle is rope, shaking is rope. Everything is rope. So you are seeing the snake, but you are no more afraid because you know the appearance is changing. The reality is the same. So when you see yourself who you are in and through everything, the same reality, the appearances are go on changing. Continuously the appearances are changing. But the reality is one and the same. Now, if you are a person like that, for you, in every appearances, you see the reality. Now, the other person who goes along with you, sometimes appearance is the reality, sometimes appearance is appearance. Now, what do you do? That is why it becomes difficult to interact with the ignorant person. So you have to go all the time, you have to adjust. Ignorant man cannot adjust with the wise man. Wise person have to adjust with the ignorant. So if you think you are smart, you have got a job in your hand. Understand? If you think you are conscious, if you think you are alert, if you think you are a knowledgeable person, then you have a job in hand. A child cannot adjust to the adult. Adult has to adjust to the child. The wise person, that is why, where shall he go? Everybody comes and talks him the story. This is happening, this is happening, this is happening. What can he say? As long as something is real for you, what can he say? Why are you worried? Even if you say, the person says, why are you worried? Because he sees the solution clearly. But the other person doesn't see the solution clearly. Therefore, he is worried. What can you do? So you have to go all around you, the person, whoever it is, to adjust everybody. That is where comes your enormous patience. Because you see things which the other person does not see. It is just like, you can take an example, mono-acting. That's the best thing for this verse. You can write down on the side as an example. On the verse side. Think over it. Mono-acting. Mono-acting, the one person plays all the roles. Mono-acting. He himself, he himself is playing Ramayana, one-act play. What you call as the one-act play. One-act play is that, no? One-act play, one man is acting? No. One-act play means only one actor. Okay. Mono-acting is, okay. So mono-acting, the one person is playing the role. Now you suddenly come as the Ravana, then same person becomes Rama. Now same person becomes Sita. The same person becomes Hanuman, monkey. The same person is the Balu, the bear. You must have seen that, no? In childhood, you must have seen in our school days. And one person suddenly goes to this side, he speaks like a Ravana. And do these things. Goes to Sita, oh, no, I cannot do it. Then he's a monkey. Oh, I will burn down everything. Okay, sit down there, burn it. Now Ravana is talking. Put that fellow's tail on the fire. Then as a Hanuman sit down, no, don't put it in the fire, Now when you are acting, how many roles? No, please, this is the most beautiful. You are playing every role. You are enjoying every role. Same thing, Brahmarpana. What is offered is Brahman. Offerer is Brahman. Offering is Brahman. And where does it go? Naturally to Brahman only. Because everything is the same. So this is where comes the awareness of yourself. Continuously. So you are acting. So throughout the day, what are you doing? Now waking, now dreaming, now sleeping, in the waking stages, now walking, now seeing, now hearing, now touching, now smelling, now eating something, now interacting with people, achieving something, doing something. So many things you do. Whatever you may do, can you lose sight of yourself? After playing so many roles, listen, after the mono-acting, after playing so many roles in the stage, the moment he comes back to the green room, goes behind the screen, what is that? Which role he plays? Happa, no more Ravana, no more Rama, no more Sita, no more monkey, no more Balu, bear, nothing. Now he's simply standing alone. Why? The role is over. At the end of the day, tired? No. Why? You are playing the role. Tired if you take the role to be yourself. At the end of the day, you are tired. Physically, understand, physically you can be tired. Physically, body has its limits. Body can, but mentally, You are always like a full-blown flower, fresh. I have told you all many times. The test of your wisdom is the freshness with which you start your day, with the same freshness you end your day. Mind is always fresh, because there is no getting worked up. You never get worked up. With same freshness, you go to sleep. Body is tired, so goes to sleep. But there is no struggle there. Because his body is tired, so just gets wiped out. What can you do? But you are conscious. Neither unnecessarily ups or down. Oh, I have been living very consciously. I am a very conscious person. You will be wide awake. You cannot sleep. Because if you own up your brightness, understand, if you own up your brightness, that also keeps you awake. It's so subtle and so simple. Understand? And especially during the food it is remembered. Why is food means, you will see now, elaborately, next 6 verses we shall see now. The same thing as you do in relation to your food, the same thing in relation to do to every sense organ. Why? As even food for the stomach is rice, sambar, all these things, bread, whatever. The food for your sense organ are the sense objects. So as even while eating the food, you remember everything is the offerer, offering, what is offered, everything is Brahman. While seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, every perception also is Brahman. Are you getting that point, please? That is why the whole life is a yajna, a ritual. What is that? We shall see now. So Brahma Arpanam, Brahma Vi. Why everything is so? Because just like in the rope, just like in and through the appearance called the snake, rope is in and through appearance called this universe, your gross body, your thought, there is one reality, pure consciousness. And that is why you see these things in the beginning, first in the Tattvabodh, before you come into this knowledge. Okay, very clearly see that. So, everything is Brahman. There is nothing other than it. Okay, it's like that's having seen it, you are literally mono-acting through life. That is why when you are mono-acting, what roles can you take? What role you cannot take? You are getting that becomes the beauty. You can play every role. There is no such role which you cannot play. Every role you can play. That is why you are such a flexible nut. Such a flexible, you can be absolutely flexible person, totally flexible. The other person trying to impress you shall go along with it to be flexible. But at one time starts drowning. And that time he shall hold you responsible for him to drown. That is why be watchful. Because everybody will crave your company. When you are a happy man, easy-going, absolutely conscious, everybody will seek your company. Very easy. Because not many people in the world you can come across where you shall be accepted exactly for who you are. Only in relation to wise man, everybody shall be accepted for who they are and what they have. It makes no difference. And the moment you accept somebody who they are for what they have and who they are, everything you accept them for who they are, they shall cling to you. Because you do not come across many places where you are accepted for who you are. Everybody has their own plans, agenda, as they say, and they want you to change according to their expectation. You want to be my son, behave like this. You want to be my daughter, you behave like this. You want to be my lover, behave like this. You want to be my officer, do it like this. You want to work for my company, do like this. Conditions apply. In wisdom, everybody is accepted for who they are. So the person who is accepted suddenly gets an illusion that he is fantastic. That is why it becomes dangerous. Because then you start, because the wise person accepts you, it doesn't point out your mistake, because he goes around it to accept you. So then you think other people are all rascals, because If such a person accepts you, how can the other person is not accepting you? If you are accepted here, it is not your greatness, it is the wise man's greatness. When other people do not accept you, that is the time your greatness is tested. Are you getting that point, please? In the calm waters, when you are swimming, it is the water which is beautiful. You know swimming, but calm waters, no problem. When you come across wild water, when you are tested out, that is the time you say, oh, this place is rough. You are not an expert swimmer. The wise person is calm waters. Anybody can relate. You find it very easy. The moment you go out, it's a wild water. There you have to struggle. Why are you struggling? Because you are not an expert. If you are an expert, you shall know exactly how to swim along with the big waves also. That is why you have to watch out. See it for yourself. All the time, conscious behavior. You are acting the role. Whatever is the seer, the seen, the sight, whatever is offering, everything is Brahman. Therefore, why is it so? Because you are Brahma Karma Samadhi. So, no other phala, no other result of the action. It begins with happiness, continues with happiness, ends with happiness. There is no karma phala. Brahma Karma Samadhi. Are you getting that? It begins with happiness, continues with happiness, ends with happiness. Other actions, that is being done. For what? Sustaining your body. So this is a general principle of Samadhi. Yajna Karma. Now he gives you particular actions. You read 3-4 verses. We shall see now the same principle passing on everywhere. Same, some people, so those who do this, for them every moment of life is a ritual. How is it? Please read. Daivameva pare yagyam yogina pariupasate brahma gnava pare yagyam yajnenaivopajuhvati srotradinindriyanyanye sanyamagnishu juhvati sabdadin vishayananye indriyagnishu juhvati sarvan indriya karmani prana karmani chapare atma sanyama yogagnau juhati jnana dipite. Just once, same type of thing is there. Please see. Daivameva pare yagyam yoginaha pariupasate. Telling now, gives the general principle of yajna already given. That how the person, a man of understanding, every action is based on the self, the Brahman, the truth, that is himself. You can ask a question. Usually, how does it matter to anybody? Please, if everybody lives with this attitude, the living becomes an absolute celebration for everybody. Just think. In a stage, when everybody is acting out his role, is there any fight? You are playing the role of Rama. I am playing the role of Sita. Somebody is playing the role of Ravana. Somebody playing the role of monkey. Somebody playing the role of a bear. Somebody playing the role of a golden deer. It's a actor's fraternity. Everybody is friendly. Each one busy playing his role best. Going to the stage, you don't say, The fellow is thinking too much himself because he is playing the role of a Ravana. You don't think all these things. You play your role, even for 2 minutes, you have to just jump like a deer and go away. You just jump like a deer and a perfect deer and go away. You play the Rama's role and you run around him also. Everybody is playing his role. No conflict. Okay. After you come back, then what do you say? Suppose you compare. Who played his role better? Then the problem begins. The problem begins when you said, who played the role better? Because of Rama's role only the Ramayana was successful. You don't understand. For a single role, any role can go crazy, and therefore the whole drama will be, as they call it, like a murder. It will be totally unsuccessful because one person playing the role bad. It is like you go to somebody's house for a dinner. Everything was nice, but the fellow who was in opening the gate and closing the gate, he was very rude. You remember that. Best dinner, but the fellow who was opening the gate was rude. Why are you coming? Huh? The host is wonderful. The person who is serving is stupid. What do you think? Think of it. What do you think? The whole thing is spoiled. That is why in any action, the entire group, everybody's responsibility is required. Because if one person does wrong, it affects everybody. Think. If you understand that much, now please have a little, call it telescopic, magnifying or microscopic look at yourself, whichever way you like. You have got 100 beautiful thoughts. One role destroys you. Your entire personality becomes useless if you are not conscious. One wrong action you did. Wrong action means unconscious action where you become angry, short-tempered, jealous. Something somewhere. Suddenly the whole personality becomes unacceptable. Because the average person is not that wise to say, 20 things he has done good, so for the 20 things I admire him. This thing is done bad, for this I will reject him. Average person doesn't have that objectivity. That is why, please understand why human beings become so complicated. How many people have that objectivity? That is why a best picture means everybody is wonderful. Best picture means everybody is wonderful. Best actor means only the best actor is wonderful. When you are giving prizes, best picture means every fellow is wonderful. That will get best picture. Best actor, best picture not necessarily getting the best actor. Best picture's hero need not be best actor. Best picture's side actor need not, or else everything will go to that. No. Best picture means generally best picture. But best actor is where that person is great, others are not. Best supporting actor is when that person is great, not others are great. Best costume means when that costumes are wonderful, not other people. So it's one, So in your life, you must look at yourself completely. Are you acting out your life role well? And the best way of acting this is where you are aware of yourself and everything is done in the attitude of yajna. What is that yajna buddhi? Karma phala tyaga. I do because I can do. What is the result? I don't know. I want to act in such a way that the result becomes good. But in spite of me, certain thing can happen. Therefore, you become very, very conscious. So some people, so when you are a conscious actor, you are seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, thinking, everything is conscious. Now he gives you specific. Some people, if you can be conscious all times, all places, no problem. At least start with one thing. First let us go to 26, then you go to 25. First you see 26 one. Srutradini indriyani, because the language will be easier to understand. Srutradini indriyani anye sayamagnishu juhati. Anye, some other people, they live their life attitude, they start with this, what? Srutradini Sanyama Agnishu Juhati. They sacrifice the sense organs, Sotradini Indriyani, the Sota, the ear, touch, the skin, eyes, taste and smell, into Sanyama Agni, Yama Niyama, Sanyama Agni, where there is no wild perception. The person is now, to begin with, he starts with his sense organs, consciously perceiving. Sanyam Agni Sujuvati. Sanyam Agni means what? A very conscious perception. Some people can be, please understand, suppose you are, as passing by, you are smelling something. Please see carefully. You are passing by, you smell a beautiful fragrant rose. Ah, nice. You forget and go. Or suppose a bad smell, stink, something, some rotten stuff. You go, ah, go, you go away. It doesn't matter to you. But as you are going, listening, somebody is talking, suppose it came to your ear, talking about you, and you are listening, the other person talking about, how do you react? Oh, that man is talking like that about me? What is your reaction? Just one sense organ. One sense organ. Ear. As you are passing by, he says, look at the fatso. Huh? Talking about me like that? Now, you forgot you are Brahman absolute. Now you think you are a pumpkin from the standpoint of your body. No, 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 it's not a joke. One word. And look at this. How, see the dress. Oof. Huh? Talking about me? You are walking down, somebody just touched you. Like, suppose, just hit against you. Huh? It can stay for a whole day. It can stay for a whole life. Told me, pumpkin. I'll never forgive him. Just think of it. What is this abuse, verbal abuse? You are passing by the road, somebody calls you, hey, black, white, green, monkey, paki, go back to your country. All this nonsense we hear all over the world, no? What happens? Racial abuse, verbal abuse, one. Now suppose you are a person. Once I was walking down in London. Then as we are going, one man, driving the car, Gandhi! At least he said Gandhi, not anything. So when he said Gandhi, I was very happy. I said, oh, not bad. Anyway, suppose the other thing, you should have felt bad? No. Some madcap talks some nonsense and goes, who cares? But one word can hit you if you are not conscious. Because when he says pumpkin, you are taking it to yourself and not thinking he is talking about your body. Now, please see. Consequences. Suppose you take it, pumpkin, you take it for yourself. You don't protest. then you know what happened? The person can say, he has got a right to tell you again and again, pumpkin, pumpkin, pumpkin. Why? Because you are not reacting. So that can be consequence. Suppose you are not reacting, the person can again and again tell the same thing. Suppose you are reacting, how can you say like that? That is, you can consciously switch it off. If you think you can switch it off, consciously, don't talk like that. Or, it's okay, how long can you talk? 20 times, you will stop it. Where will you go? You are not the only subject for that mindless person. Then another victim will be there. The person will not change. Different types of consequences will come. But it doesn't matter what the other person speaks, how the other person behaves, how I look at it. Every perception, sanyama agnishu juvati. You put into the fire of sanyama, conscious living. Start with one sense organ. You shall reach yourself, because you shall see the possibility. Are you getting that? It's just like you start with any one thing. If you see the possibility, you start with your food, it will come now. You start with anything, you just start with, then you say, oh, I can make it. Definitely I can do it. If I can, somebody getting angry, somebody making you angry, but did not get angry. Now you can see the possibility. Definitely I will not be affected by it. Now, Sabdadini Vishayananye Indriya Agnishu Juvati. Please see. See the Srutradini Indriyani Sanyam Agnishu Juvati. Suppose you say, very difficult for me. Very difficult for me. So, I can't do that. Okay. Sabdadini Vishayananye Indriya Agnishu Juvati. Consider these Indriya, every sense organ is a fire, unto which every object is offered as an oblation. Because you cannot live without oblation. Understand? You cannot live without perception. Suppose you can't live without perception, sound, I must hear, touch, taste, smell, sight, I don't know what to do. Then what shall he say? Whatever perception is taking place, you consider these are the 5 fire continuously burning in you. 5 sense organ fires are continuously burning unto you. Into the fire of sense organ, your attitude should be, whenever I am listening to a sound, it is offered to the fire of sense organ and doesn't affect me. So in the very beginning of the offering, you are now thinking, are you getting that? In the beginning of the offering, you think it is offered unto the sense of sound, hearing, offered to the touch, offered to the taste, offered to the smell. So it's not offering to me, it is offered to the sense organ fire. Are you getting that? So 5 sense organ fire is continuously burning. This is where the fire ritual. It tells you 2 things, Drabhyamaya Yajna and Jnana Yajna. Let's later on, just see this. Are you getting that point, please? Verses after verses, it goes away. In 2 minutes, we can finish a verse. But life is to be lived, no? So continuously, you must remember, throughout the day, the moment you are reacting, you know your attitude, you have forgotten the attitude. If you are already conscious, it's a different thing. We are not talking about you. But if a person is beginning, in the beginning stages, straight away you can go sense organs, Sanyam Agnishu Juvati. I am being myself. The sense organs doesn't matter. But suppose you cannot do that, all right, at least when you are putting the sense organ into, when you are experiencing sense object, think that every sound is offered to the sense organ called ear. This is a general statement. Every sound is what? Somebody talking about you. You thought so. Talking about the body. You stick. Talking about the body. that is sound gone. Then you go to the dining hall, eating. What am I doing? I am eating or I am satisfying the fire of hunger? Satisfying the fire of hunger. Giving the taste to the fire of tongue. I am not involved. In that yajna buddhi, you become the yajaman. Are you getting that point, please? You become the one who is standing apart, yajaman. Now you are facilitating the offering up to the sense organ. Very conscious offering. Do one, you will get the hang of it. Then everything becomes effortless. Especially food time. Especially food time. It is very easy because you have to eat for half an hour, 1 hour. And every day you have to eat. Every day hunger comes. That is why food situation, food time, so much problem can come up. Understand? What is there can disturb you. Who is giving you can disturb you. What type of plate can disturb you. What type of atmosphere can disturb you. So many ways. Leave me alone when I am eating. Why are you all the time talking? It can happen. Every day, potato. What nonsense. You know. So many nuances. Please appreciate. So it can be also sight. What you are seeing, every sense object that you are seeing, sacrificed to the fire of eyes. Now, suppose you are sitting in a room, you want to see somebody which you like, whom you like. You will be so restless. Oh, maybe now the tea time, this is the tea time, I meet him or meet her. Just an example. I am this tea time. So, 5 minutes before the tea time, you will get from your room. 10 minutes before. Why? That is the time you see him or see her. That is the food time you were supposed meeting somebody. That is the time you like the person and that person is there. Half an hour early you go there. Why? By chance she comes or he comes 5 minutes later, hello. Then it looks as though very innocent. But inside you are hungry to see. Hungry to hear that voice. Hungry to look at that form. Therefore you are organizing it. And you are unconscious. You think meditation means only Brahman early morning. That also is your beginning of meditation, no problem. But that's not the only. Because if you do not fix up the small things, that becomes a big fire. You call it small, but that is not small. You are the absolute Brahman, truth, consciousness, all-pervasive. Beautiful discourse. As you are walking down, somebody says, I think you are a very insensitive person, you do everything wrong. You can fight with everybody and say, go to hell, I don't want this knowledge, you move. All because somebody said, you are stupid. This ritualistic listening for, habitual ritualistic listening for days together that you are Brahman doesn't work. Ordinary persons, one single statement, you are an idiot, works much more powerfully than ritualistic, habitual listening, you are Brahman, you are absolute. Why? Because that is unreal for you. What is real is other person's commentary on you. Other ignorant man's commentary on you is much more precious to you than the wise man's exhortation and the scriptural revelation. Why? Because you are an idiot. Understand? Please understand. Don't pamper yourself. Don't pamper yourself. Small things can create the biggest fire. Understand? One statement. That is why We can pass through these verses, but you can feel, you must see it for it. Sabdadini Vishayanani Sanyama Agnisu Indriya Agnisu Juvati. So, if you can sacrifice, meaning if you can offer your sense organs to the Sanyama Agni, you don't need to experience anything. Wonderful. You need not need to offer anything, experience anything to be yourself. Excellent. Suppose it's difficult, I want to see, hear, taste, touch, all right. Attitude should be, I am happy with myself. Sense objects are offered to the fire of the sense organ. See the principle? I am happy with myself, but the sense objects are offered to the fire of sense organ. My happiness does not depend upon a sight or a sound or a touch or a smell. That your happiness does not depend upon those things can be very clear if you are free from unconscious, unnecessary, habitual reactions. That is why yours is a reaction-free life. Absolutely reaction-free. Are you getting that? These two. If you see that, Sarvani Indriya Karmani Prana Karmani Chapare Atma Samyama Yognagno Juhati Jnanadipite. Now this person is little more conscious. Jnanadipite Atma Samyama Yogagno Jnanadipite. What happens? Juhati. In this fire of knowledge, Jnanadipite, that fire which is initiated by the knowledge of the self, in that Atma Sanyama Yoga, Atmani Sanyama, Atma Sanyama, Sayeva Yoga Agni, you have understood about yourself. In that fire of knowledge, what you do? Sarvani Indriya Karmani, all Indriya Karmas, sense, the Jnanendriya Karma, Karmendriya Karma, the sense organs of action, Prana Karmani Chapare, Prana, Apana, Vyana, Samana, Udana, all karmas, meaning every perception, you sacrifice at the altar of consciousness. Different levels are talked about. Are you getting that? You can start with a single sense organ, sense object. You can start with simple perception. Oh boy, Swamiji, that is very difficult, you know. This body, single perception, very difficult. Offering these sense organs to the conscious living, that is much more difficult. Giving all these things, sense organs of action, everything into yourself, you are talking about wisdom. I can't handle anything. Okay, start with the basic. Daivam, go back to 25. Daivameva pare yagyam yogina pariupasate. The person who is a grossest. Don't classify and brand them. The fellow is a grossest, that is why he is doing this. No. Hey, you begin from wherever you are. You don't compare yourself with anybody. You don't compare yourself with anybody. If you compare and contrast, you shall be frustrated. You see, when two children are learning swimming, or two children learning cycling, you are always looking how the other person is going away and you are not going. What a headache. You are cycling. Both of you are learning cycling. But your eyes are always on the other side. How he is doing it, I am not doing it. The more you are looking at him and feeling frustrated, it will take you longer time. You have your focus on your cycling. But the other fellow is learning, let him. He is learning cycling, he is not going to teach me. I have to learn by myself. Okay, look at him, feel encouraged. Look at him to feel encouraged, not to feel jealous. Oh, he is so quickly learning, I cannot. That should not be frustration. He started, I started. If he could, why can't I? Stop, do it. Swimming. He is swimming. Oh, I am drinking water. He is below swimming. I don't know when I can. The more desperate you are, the more you will be sinking. Same thing. Cannot be conscious at the level of the sense organs. Daivameva apare yagyam yogino pariupasate. Daivameva apare. Some daiva. You do the rituals offering everything to God. Why shall I do it? Simple thing. Om Agne idam swaha namama. You start your training. Ritual. Agne idam. This belongs to fire, not mine. Your attitude is beautiful. Because in that attitude, individuality is being sacrificed every second. Idam Agne idam, it belongs to fire, not mine. It belongs to Vishnu, not mine. It belongs to gods, not mine. You start slowly, get the first inclination or a first hint. You get the first hint of sacrifice in life. Because previously everything, mine, mine, yanagda, yanagda, it's all mine. As a baby, what do you say? Mine. You are intolerant. You don't want to give anything to anybody. So when you grow up also, my house, my car, my things, nobody should touch it. Very, very possessive. At least one time you start listening. That is why dhanam. Why traditionally people teach? Give something to a beggar, give something to somebody. Why? Start so that other person's need becomes little more important than my need. That way your individuality starts getting little nibbled out, little bitten up, little eaten up, little consumed. Why? At least somebody's need is better than my need. Oh, yo, that makes you a little more softer personality. Me, nothing. Nobody should get it. Oh. In this generation, literally I generation. I means not only information technology, individual. I generation. Me. That is why nobody loves nobody. If everybody are getting that, it's a selfish attention towards one's own self. Naturally, nobody else exists for you. And therefore, you don't exist for anybody. If nobody exists for you, how do you think that other people will exist for you? For what? You understand? You don't exist for anybody. My food, my house, my car, my thing. Oh, have your car, have your house, have everything. Understand? So at least start with that. That is why these rituals are being done. But then there is a purpose. When this purpose is forgotten, it becomes meaningless action. That is why rituals become meaningless action. The purpose is forgotten. For what purpose shall I do it? Not for God's sake. You think God is starving if you don't give him puja? If you don't put ghee on the fire, you think fire is going to be starved? No, why should you give ghee to the fire? Why not myself? Okay, have it. Who says not? Then heavy cholesterol after a few years. You drink all the ghee. Why should I give it to the fire? Okay, eat it. Who says not? That attitude. Just like essence of everything you are giving it to the fire. Essence of everything is what? You study, you work, you get money. Essence. Give it to fire, society. Everybody should enjoy it. You understand? The product of, what is the ghee? Ghee is the last product of all the milk. What is the last product of all your activity? Why are we learning, school, college going? Job. Job for what? Money, paisa. Money I want to give. If that is suppose your power, position, the moment you get that, what should you do? Give it. The moment the gopis were churning the milk, what is that? Tair. The moment they are churning the curd, comes what? Butter. Krishna takes it and goes. This is the symbol. When you chant, whatever comes, give it to God. Why should I chant then? To live. Sarir yatra, for the sustenance of your body, you do it. Result, give it to him. That is why his name Navanita Chora. He takes away. You do the churning, he takes the butter. And when you see the pleasure in that, what do? You call him and feed him. Eat na. Take the butter. Splash his mouth with the butter. Let him take all the butter. Hey, why? Boy, he gets all the butter, doesn't get cholesterol? That is the wisdom. In wisdom, karma phala is totally burnt. Jnana agni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute Arjuna. We shall see that. The fire of knowledge burns down all the result of action. Therefore, any result of action is burnt in the fire of knowledge. So that is what. You understand that last verse where he says that Jnanagni dagdha karmanam tamau panditam buddha. Jnanagni dagdha karmanam. Those people, Jnana agni dagdha karma. In the fire of knowledge, every action is sacrificed, where result is given. So, daivameva pare yajna. So, start with attitude of the fire ritual. Today, we don't do much fire ritual. Okay, so at least start with the subjective. Into the fire of sense organ, offer the fire of object, done. Then offer the sense organs to the fire of conscious living, Atma Samya Yoga, where you are conscious of yourself. Or the sense organs of action, result, everything, Atma Sanyama Yoga, Agno, in the knowledge of yourself, Jnana Deepite, in that consciously fire, you use yourself. Where is it? Brahmagno apare yagyam, yagyaneva upajuvati. Brahmagno, into the fire of Brahman, yagyena yagyam upajuvati. You sacrifice the sacrifice itself. Yagyena yagyam upajuvati. Can you believe that sentence? You sacrifice the sacrifice itself into the fire of knowledge. First he says sacrifice. Then he says sacrifice the sacrifice itself. Yagyena yagyam upajuvati. Ayyo, what a statement. You do everything in the attitude of sacrifice. Then sacrifice the very sacrifice itself into fire of knowledge. What they say, giving up the giver. Yena tejasi tat teja. Giving up the giver. The individuality was giving up everything. That individuality itself is given up in the fire of knowledge, the consciousness. So that way, everything becomes Brahmagno, Brahmaivaten, Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagno, Brahmanautam, Brahmaivatena gantavyam, Brahma karma samadhina. Okay, that much. Now, another 2-3 types are there, which you shall see in the afternoon. And that, because you can just see that attitude, okay? The attitude of sacrifice. How the whole living is a beautiful fire ritual. Start with the sense object for the sense organ for the mind at the altar of consciousness, the whole thing. And the I, which is offering everything and causing the sacrifice. Now the sacrificer, sacrificed, everything is sacrificed in the altar of consciousness, Brahma. So, whole living is a marvelous fire ritual. Okay? Close your eyes. And you shall know you are living with this attitude, and the results do not touch you anymore.